JBNN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and to share the news with someone today. Now onto the news. Indicom investigating deadly police encounter in Gregory Park. The Independent Commission of Investigations Indicom has begun an inquiry into a fatal police shooting that occurred in Gregory Park, St. Catherine, on Monday afternoon. The deceased has not yet been identified. According to preliminary reports, around 4:45 p.m., a police team was conducting patrols along the Gregory Park Main Road when they attempted to stop a Toyota Axia motor car. The driver allegedly ignored the signal and accelerated, prompting officers to pursue the vehicle. The chase ended when the car reportedly crashed into a wall. Police said the occupants exited the vehicle and opened fire on the team, who responded with gunfire. When the shooting stopped, officers reportedly found a man slumped in the passenger seat, clutching what appeared to be a gun. He had sustained gunshot wounds. Investigators say the weapon recovered was a 9mm pistol fitted with a magazine containing 1 round. The injured man was transported to the Spanish Town Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Police probe suspected hit and run along Flanker Main Road. The police in St. James have launched an investigation into what is believed to be a fatal hit and run incident along the Flanker Main Road early Tuesday morning. The victim, who appears to be a man, has not yet been identified. Reports indicate that the individual suffered multiple fractures and several injuries consistent with being struck by a vehicle. He was discovered along the roadway by passers-by who alerted the authorities. The body was later removed from the scene and taken for a post-mortem examination as investigators work to determine the circumstances surrounding the incident and identify the driver involved. Road breakaway forces traffic detour northeast Manchester. Police in Manchester are urging motorists to proceed with extreme caution along the Sedgeburgh Main Road near Christiana, following a breakaway that has made the area hazardous. Drivers heading towards Spalding are being advised to use the Springground Main Road as an alternative route whenever possible. The warning comes after a frightening incident on Tuesday in which a motorist narrowly avoided serious injury when a Suzuki motor car overturned after veering off the compromised roadway. Authorities say the affected section continues to pose a significant danger.
Current situation along Springground Main Road. First, motorists using this road would have to be extra careful. This certain section. As you can see, there's a motor vehicle now which is in a ditch. That ditch was created during Hurricane Melissa, where a section of the road has landfall, and motorists using this road coming from Spalding direction cannot properly use the left-hand side of the road. So therefore, the police would have to take the initiative to turn this road in a one-way per se, meaning that you have to detour motorists to facilitate the Springground Main Road. The Springground Main Road is in close vicinity to this road. So as you can see right now, citizens assisting police with the management of the traffic.
Second suspect linked to murder of 2 cops surrenders to police. A second suspect in the killing of 2 police constables at 83 Lane, Waltham Park Road in St. Andrew on Thursday has surrendered to the police. The police say about 6 p.m. Friday, 20-year-old Junior Brown of 13 Seaward Drive, Kingston 11, were reported to the Duane Park Police Station in the company of a relative and a pastor. The main suspect in the double murder, Maceros Monroe, otherwise called Mackie of Ricketts Crescent in Kingston 13, also turned himself in on Friday afternoon. Monroe was accompanied to the Hunts Bay Police Station by a Justice of the Peace. A third suspect, who goes by the alias Squidley, remains at large. Constables Charles Stewart and Jamari Gordon were reportedly at their business place about 7:40 p.m. on Thursday when an argument with the suspects developed and they were shot. Family desperate as St. Elizabeth man vanishes in Melissa's raging floodwaters. Days after Hurricane Melissa unleashed catastrophic flooding across St. Elizabeth, the family of a missing fisherman is still desperately combing the coastline for any sign of him. Shamar Summons of Parity disappeared the morning after the storm while attempting to salvage belongings swept from his home. Relatives believe he was carried away by powerful floodwaters that ripped through the small fishing village. His cousin Evan Daly has been leading the search, scouring mangrove thickets, broken drains, and long stretches of shoreline. That morning they need upon the road, but me can't call it road again, a pure water, Daly recalled, describing the aftermath of Melissa's havoc. Despite days of searching, not a single trace of summons has surfaced. As of Thursday, November 13, Jamaica's official death toll from Hurricane Melissa stood at 45, with 9 cases under investigation and 15 people still unaccounted for. It remains unclear that summons is included among the missing, as authorities have not released updated details. Party was among the first communities hammered by the storm. Roads disappeared under surging water, homes were ripped apart, and residents were left trapped between the rising sea to the front and flooded swampland behind them. With no electricity, no running water, and entire areas cut off, the community has been left shaken and overwhelmed. Daly said the storm left behind deadly hazards. The drain bust out, and when it bust out, it left quicksand. If you step in it, it pull you straight down, he explained. Relatives believe that is exactly what happened to Summons. With a knapsack slung over his shoulder, he is thought to have stepped onto unstable waterlogged silt. After him sinking, him start bawl for help, Daly said. And he threw a rope twice, but the currents were too fierce. The wave and the current go wild and the drain move fast. Him never catch it. The water just drag him away, Daly said quietly. The fisherman's disappearance has cast a cloud of heartbreak over the already devastated community. We look every day and all know we can't find him, Daly said, his voice breaking. We walk the drain, we walk the beach, nothing. Daly recounted their last conversation just hours before Summons vanished. Me and him are talking in the morning. Same time we're talking is the same time he walked down there to him death. Him never know. He also described their terrifying experience during the hurricane itself. Port is the first place Melissa lick. If that storm come in at night, me wouldn't be here. Daytime get dark like midnight, and all of us running from house to house when the water start rise. With the sea surging from one direction and the swamp pushing from the other, residents had nowhere safe to go. We are searching safety and there is none, Daly said, a chilling reminder of the storm's deadly force and the community's lingering trauma. Government spending for Melissa will be fully accounted for, says PM.
Thank my colleagues from CARICOM, Prime Minister Motley, Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell, Prime Minister Gaston Brown, and my brother and friend, President Irfan Ali from Guyana. And of course, we have the Secretary General of CARICOM, Carla Barnett, with us, along with our friends from the multilateral community, IFC, IDB, and World Bank. Rebuilding Jamaica will require all hands on deck. Mike Dayton. But it will not only require Jamaican hands, it will require the hands of our brothers and sisters in CARICOM, in Central America, South America, North America, and indeed the wider world, including Africa, Europe, and the Middle East. And it is our intention to mobilize regional and international support to make the work of rebuilding lighter. And this is for good reason, because Jamaica can be the example of a country hit by a disaster of this magnitude, but recovers and recover even better and stronger. So we can be the example of resilience, because we have accepted as a government, and we have been trying to incorporate this in our politics, that resilience is an important feature of government and social institutions and our infrastructure. And we have done this by being resilient in our public finances. In fact, I would dare say that one of the reasons we are able to galvanize the multilateral community, it is because of the sacrifice and great effort that we as a people have collectively made in ensuring that we have fiscal discipline rooted in our political culture, in our economics, and in our civic and social affairs. It is well appreciated and understood that the government of Jamaica must be fiscally responsible. So Jamaica is a country that will use resources from the international community and our own taxes in the best and most frugal way, in the smartest way. So we intend to continue this through the development process. Now, it is regretful, without question, that having struggled so hard to reduce our debt from 130 or 40% of GDP to heading towards 60% of GDP, that we are now faced with a situation where half the country literally has been devastated in terms of its infrastructure, that we will have to spend on relief and recovery. But we have also lost revenues. So our financial situation is of great concern, and it has to be managed carefully. I know that at this time there will be call for spending. There will be even temptation for profligacy. But I assure you that my administration, yes, we will spend to relieve human suffering. But every dollar that is spent will be accounted for. But not just from an accounting point of view, meaning adding up the dollars spent, but it will be accounted for from an efficiency point of view, which is really the greater accountability. That every dollar spent, every aid given, every commitment made will be used in a way that quickly advances the recovery, but at the end of it, makes Jamaica stronger. We've been very strategic in managing the disaster thus far. We're standing at what is essentially ground zero, meaning that this would be within the eye of the hurricane, stretching for about 30 miles from the center of the eye. And we decided that we would bring our friends to see the damage. But the tour was strategic. So we started in Montego Bay, where damage was significant, but certainly not comparable to here. So the international community can get a sense of what the real impact is. Jamaica is not totally destroyed. Jamaica is still standing, and we are recovering quickly. As we drove in, we would see people rebuilding on their own effort, which is applaudable. And we encourage you, if you can stand on your own 2 feet, then please do. It makes it easier for us to take up the people who can't. You would see, as Prime Minister Motley commented, why is there so much traffic on your roads? People are out. Commerce is returning. But we would have also seen the devastation on houses, on communities, the loss of historic heritage sites. Many of our churches, some of them 200 years old, totally destroyed. Our schools destroyed. Livelihoods destroyed. But as President Ali pointed out, the spirit of the Jamaican people, indomitable, optimistic, and still looking forward to a positive future. That is the core on which we will build and recover Jamaica. So, we estimate that approximately 150,000 homes destroyed. We estimate that about 900,000 Jamaicans have been impacted. We estimate, conservatively, approximately $8 billion in physical damage. US, thank you, head of the PIOJ, $8 billion US in just physical damage. That has nothing to do with what we will have to spend on relief and recovery and what we have lost in revenues. This doesn't take into consideration the loss of the tourism industry for the period of time, the loss in agricultural output.
JBN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.